Welcome to the Agents of the Unexplained podcast. From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained, here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this fine, very cold night here in Western Pennsylvania. And I mean, it's cold. It was -6 degrees when I went out and did a job today. And it's kind of cold in my house because my furnace is struggling. But here's the thing. I'm very excited about this guest I have coming in tonight. I got to meet him back in April. I heard everything about him, and it's all good. You know, he definitely have boots on the ground. He's always out there in the woods, and he has gotten some really great pictures. He got some so pictures, but you know what? You can tell what they are. We're going to be talking about Bigfoot. We're going to be talking about orbs. We're going to be talking about whatever else pops up. So let me bring him in. It's going to be Jay Fouch from Conshohocken, Ohio. Hey, Jay, you there? There he is. Hi, Jay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, how you doing, buddy? Are you ready for tonight?
I'm doing good, trying to stay warm. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, hey, give the people a little bit of lowdown on yourself.
My name's Jay Fouch. I live in Conshohocken, Ohio. I've been researching this cryptid for cryptids, basically Bigfoot, for going on 10 years. This will be my 10th year, 11th year. And started out with a small group of guys. We still have a pretty small group. I mean, compared to most groups, we're about 1,200 members here in Conshohocken, and we're just trying to show evidence of this cryptid in our county. That's what we started out to do. I co-founded the Robert Gross, and we lost him in February of the last year, and it was a tough time for me. I was thinking about quitting, getting out of it. Me and him was like brothers, and I mean I miss him every day. And he brought something to it that we're missing right now in the group, but it's coming around. I mean, it is what it is. But we formed this group, here. And we've had,
Stuart Clark, Rooster. He's in your group, am I right?
Stuart, yeah.
Yeah,
he runs his own thing, does his own thing, but he's like Stuart is amazing. He's
yes.
I met him through our page. He posted a few things on our page, you know, and he posted some really neat stuff, you know, some stuff that I knew. I was like, wow, where'd he get that at, you know? For a layman that don't really know what to look for, he was picking stuff out that was just weird to him, and it was good stuff. And I finally contacted him, and he's amazing. I mean, I love the guy to death. He's like a brother to me.
Same here.
Can't say enough good stuff about him. He just contacted me the other day, and we're going to get out again.
He's one amazing. Great young man. I'm telling you, you got a great guy there to get out in the woods with.
Yeah, he is. He
Shalane.
Yeah, he's so good in the woods.
Hi.
Very good. Who?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Family.
And Foothills Adventures. But you know, the thing is too, you know, you got all these good people out there that you deal with in that small little group of yours. You call it small. You know, my agents group's only 350, maybe. You know, so it's interesting to see, you know, who you got in your group and who you investigate with. And I ain't taking nothing from you, but you are the center of it. You know, you was talking about your buddy.
They say that.
You're the
Yeah, I mean,
center of
Larry
it. 'cause-
Felsky. Yeah, we got Larry Felsky and Jack Warren's been there from the beginning of this group.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I first even joined the group, and I mean, those guys we've been through. And Bill Welsh. I mean, I can't say enough about Bill. Chris Meddings, right there. We got two new members that researchers with us now. They're brothers, Jeff and David Thomas. They're two best hunters I know that hunt. I mean, these guys, classic hunters. And you're out with them.
Well,
I mean, they notice everything.
well, the
They
thing
notice
is,
stuff
too, so do
first
you.
time we even went out that I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I hunted with them like that growing up. That's how we all hunted together. And I mean, I've hunted everything in Ohio, everything that walks, flies, grows.
Yeah.
My guys though, we're a family. I mean, when one of us we has a bad time. Jake Leist is another member. I mean, we got like 9 researchers in this group, and they're all just like my brother. I could go to them with any problem. It's just amazing how we get along. And then we try to get along with the other groups, like say your group, Corky, Marple,
Yep.
Cryptovania. I can't say enough about Cryptovania. I mean, my God, they're just awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
I
we all
made me-
work together in gel. Yeah.
like my camp out. Look all the different groups that showed up
Yeah.
at my camp out in April. And
Oh, I know,
Jay
yeah,
showed
yeah.
up. He had to work.
in there.
He wanted to
Makes
be
me
there
sense
sooner,
there.
but he couldn't. And I couldn't wait for Jay to come. I really wanted to meet him at that time. I heard so much about this guy.
I appreciate
And-
that.
And all these people came from different groups. And they all had the same mentality as you and me. We're here to share our knowledge and here to get along
Yeah.
and
Right.
pick each other's
mean,
brains
I share everything.
and learn from each other.
Yeah, I share. If I have something, I mean, I've had a lot of people say to me, man, don't put them pictures out there like that. Somebody's going to take them. What are they going to do with them?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows what's mine. I've had people call me and ask me if this picture was mine because it was a really, it was a decent picture. And I'm like, no, that it really wasn't mine. So I don't know. They thought, well, I thought maybe it was one of yours. And if somebody does take my pictures, what are they going to do with it? I got the evidence right at the house that it's on a card. I mean, I don't even care about, the pictures. And the only reason I really got into pictures was Bob Gross funded everything for me. I mean, he bought everything I needed and some stuff I didn't need, and he and he's like, you got to have this, you got to have this. And then you need this. And if I didn't need it, I don't need that, man. Don't get that. And he got he got so much stuff. Then he was so like when we went and did a thing with Cryptovania, man, we had everything. We had the stuff that the TV shows had.
I saw your interview up there.
Nighttime. You're like 4 miles from the truck. Yeah, you're away from your vehicle. You're in the middle of the night. You're hiking in, and if you have the equipment to look for these things, it's a blast. And when you don't have the equipment, it's just you're walking through maybe with the recorders. That's fine too. That's where people start at. But it's like to go up there, and we worked with Cryptovania the first time, and it was just, I mean, they were just like people. They wasn't just like, they wasn't like, I don't know, it was just going there and meeting really good people, and just, it was a good hang,
Yeah, right, exactly.
I can't say enough about those guys.
Tommy, Jason, I got nothing bad to say about them at all.
Right, Tommy, Nick, and Jason, we went up there, and they went out of their way to treat us like rock stars, man. We're like, what the hell, and we're just like them. We're just down to earth guys, And I mean, I've researched with so many groups now. The Northeast Ohio Bigfoot researchers. Jeff and those guys. They come down for a weekend, and we had an awesome weekend. I mean, we had one hell of an encounter. Stuart got a big old rock hit his truck, and we had.
Stuart told me about that. Yes,
that was something. That was really a trip. And
I mean, you do. The thing is, with us in the cryptid and the paranormal sure we got some. All right, I'm supposed to keep it PG, but some assholes out there. But for the most part, most of us are down to earth, out to learn, and
Yeah.
and that's what. Like at my camp out, I was really nervous that I'm inviting all these different groups in, and Jay, you can testify to this. We didn't have no uh, egos going on and that. We were all
No,
talking about
no.
different things.
Yeah, everybody,
You start showing me your pictures,
right.
and this is going to bring up the one subject that we're going to cover tonight. He's showing me all these pictures of Bigfoot, and then he was getting, I think he was getting your thermal out of the car. Me and him walked over to the car,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we hear this whoop. And I said, "You hear?" He said, "Yeah, I heard that. Of course, I hear that." And we start looking over into the woods, and what did we see, Jay?
Yeah, orbs over there.
Yes,
I remember
we had
that.
3 of them
And them
floating
orbs over on
around
the
us.
hill.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
You, I mean, you can ask anybody. All my guys know that. Jason Trost and Tommy, they know I just don't like orbs because I don't know what they are. And for me to stick around when there's an orb is saying something because usually I just bolt. I'd rather run into anything because these things are. One thing I did want to talk about tonight was like we was at Corky's at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
a lot of people were supposed to show up. Now the weather was terrible. It was terrible. And I think
And I couldn't show.
Rebecca
I was supposed to
Brownlee
be there
and
too, but I
Corky-
couldn't come.
more people there. Right. The
Yeah.
weather was horrible. I mean, it was raining, it was cold, it got down to 28 degrees. But we did
That
something I
don't
think
bother me.
nobody else has done. As these orbs showed up, they wasn't like a couple of orbs I've seen, I just happened to notice them. They were there. You know, I didn't see them turn on or turn off. And these things turned on like a light. They just turned
Yes.
on like you turn a porch light on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they done that a few times, and I thought I want to get my thermal on just to see what if there's what type of energy it's giving off. You know, if it's giving off heat, whatever. And every time I thermed them, which I thermed them several times throughout the night, Corky actually went in. I don't know. It was kind of late, maybe about 10 or 11. Corky went in. I stayed out there like in his driveway for an hour and a half watching orbs and therming them. Every therm I got was a massive cold spot around them. Not hot. I mean, it was cold and it was 28 degrees outside. So it was much colder than 28 degrees because it was just a massive cold spot around them.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was amazing to watch it. And if it moved at all, the cold spot moved with it. It was just amazing. And I don't think me and Corky both looked, we can't find nobody that's done anything that's ever thermed up, thermal orb. And the
I
thermal
haven't
won't
heard
lie
of
to tell you
anyone
what
either.
the temperature is, you know?
and I think you guys
But it
are
was
onto
amazing. And
something
then,
with that.
when we first got there, like I said, it was nasty. Yeah. I came in the back way. And if you come in the back way, you come through Lisbon, and
Yep.
then you actually see the ridge that runs out Corky's backyard. And you know what? I've seen that ridge a couple times coming that way. And it's in foliage on the trees, and you really get a look at that ridge. That ridge is spectacular. Okay.
Yes.
It's just, it goes for so far. And there's parts of it that's just straight down to the Beaver Creek. And
Yes.
where that orb was, you couldn't stand where that orb was. Where it was getting that orb at, there was no way to stand there. I mean, you'd fall to your death, And then he would ask it to get brighter, and it would get brighter. And I'm like, it's whatever it is. There's some, there's some physical, some type of, it's got intelligence.
Oh yeah.
To see that, it was just amazing.
And when I
Before,
was
but
down
not
at
like that.
Beaver Creek, Jay, I want to share this with you and get your mindset on this. When I was down at Beaver Creek, a gentleman was showing Brian Seach these pictures of these orbs. And he had a bunch of them. And a bunch of them, you can see they were energy, but the other bunch, they looked like they had faces in them.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen that on
Yeah.
different things.
And what got me was the one was a real demonic looking face in it. Now, he took these pictures at different areas, so they weren't all in the same general location. But that demonic look one really freaked me out.
Yeah. I went to these two cousins lived together out in the country, and they got a hold of Bob about something on their property, and Bob said, "Here, give me the address. Go on out there, check it out." So I went out there, and me and my wife's uncle drove up, and we was just sitting there, and we just got there and got to a high house. I was like, "You gotta be kidding!" And to get to one from there, and their house is in the middle. And we did several investigations up there and seen some really crazy stuff. But I went up there and I talked to the owner that owned the property, the one cousin, and he said he was always making fun of me, calling, "You up here looking for a big toe," teasing me and stuff, And I didn't pay much mind to it. But one day he came out and he just looked at me. He said, "I've seen him crossing the field up there," and he was real quiet about it, like he didn't want to talk about it at first. And he said, "There's a bunch of them," he said, and he said some of the older ones seem like they walk hunched over, and he said they just walk straight up. He said they walk from woods to woods, the one woods to woods over there. And he said, "But I've seen him," and that's all he said. And the other cousin, he was younger. I think they kind of scared him. These creatures did, and we were sitting in a car one night and talking about him, and he goes, he tell me what he's seen, I've seen the eye shine. I've seen him walk through the yard, and he said, "I don't know what they are. I don't even want them here," And he was talking, and all of a sudden, we both at the same time see this orange orb coming across the sky, and it couldn't have been 200 feet in the air. And it floats over my car, and it floats over to a pond on the property, a big pond, and gone. And I was like, "What was that?" Because I don't know. I see that all the time, dude.
How big around was that?
I was ready to leave right there. That orb there I would say, was as big around as a volleyball. Corky's one day down at the park, I watched one. Me and a friend of Corky's watched one that big. But the ones what we watched this weekend was just insane. I mean, I've never seen them just turn on like a light and then turn off like a light.
Yeah.
I've seen them fade. These things
like
were just
like the three we saw, and I know they wasn't flashlights.
They were, right.
Because the way they were turning, they actually went through trees. Not around them, but through.
Yeah, they were like pulsating. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people what they are, I don't know. Dad always said, if you don't know what it is, leave it alone. And that advice has always worked well for me. What are they? I don't know what they are. I know they're associated with Bigfoot. I know a lot of people have seen them researching Bigfoot, and a lot of people don't like paranormal and Bigfoot. Well, that is what it is. You got to follow the evidence.
I got a funny feeling that they actually, Jay, I actually believe they do travel out in front, like they're an eye ahead of them. They're using that sort of energy to look their way.
And it's like people with theories. I don't knock down nobody's theories because I don't know myself. So for me to say anybody else has a theory, I always listen to everybody's theories. I keep an open mind because I don't know what they are. I can't sit there and tell you I know what they are. I don't.
That's my theory on it. Yeah. Not all of them now. Not all of them. Yeah.
I'll be out in the woods. I've run into some really strange things in the woods, and I got a few photographs of some really strange things in the woods.
Yes, and
that stuff. I'm not scared of something that's physically there, But these things here, I don't know. You got missing 411 going on. You got a lot of stuff like that going on, and I didn't want Bigfoots to be paranormal. When I got into this, I wanted to be some type of lost hominid going through the woods, living in the woods. And the more I dive into this rabbit hole, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and it just keeps going, and you never get to it. Like you just never get to an end, and you find out more stuff and more stuff and more stuff, and then
you think you're getting to the end of one thing, but all this other stuff comes on. Yes,
right. And I didn't want stuff to be woo. I didn't want woo involved in my research, but when it's there, you can't deny it. You can't say, well, because it did happen. And a lot of people don't like the woo, but I'll tell you what, if you don't have some type of paranormal something happen when you're researching these things, you're not researching.
Well, all I got to say is you got to have an open mind when you're researching. You can't close your mind off. You close your mind
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
You're not going to
Like
see.
people call you up and say, "You ain't gonna believe this." I believe it.
Yeah. Right. And I did pop up. I'm going to pop it back up. Right here.
Yeah, what's that? What
I
is
don't know
that?
what the hell that is.
I'll tell you
Some
a story
crazy
behind that.
man took this picture.
I was at we got a team member, Jake, and I was at his house, and I went through Doug Waller, and he joined our group as a researcher, and that's on his property. And that day, I had a similar thing following me, and I was being paralleled, and I stopped and got a photo of its head. I got a photo of its head and its face, no hair on it, and it was like a gray. All right. And it was
Right.
behind me, and it was pretty good size. And I wanted to get out of the woods and get to an open field heading toward his house where I had a 360. Because whatever this thing was, it wasn't a Bigfoot. And I didn't want to be in the woods because I didn't know what it was, but I was armed well. I'm always armed well when I'm in the woods. And I was armed very well that day. And I wasn't that concerned for my safety. But as I'm going out, I hear a snap. I look up and there's this thing, and I get a picture of it, and I'm like, wow, there's two. But what is this? I mean, it has a dog leg, and the only thing I can even come close to saying it even looks like her from what I've told is a Jersey Devil. Look at the leg on its leg here, and it's perched in the tree. It just perched there, so I don't know if it flew in, snapped something when it landed, or what. It perched there like a bird. That picture there, a gentleman called me. It's kind of a funny story, but he called me up about a Bigfoot getting on his new garage. He opened for a business, and he has a business satellite up there. It kept turning the satellite, and he said he had 16-inch prints. The first thing out of his mouth was, I wasn't going to believe him. And I said, try me. And there it is. I photographed it from 500 yards away. Yeah. It was like 500 yards away.
That's going through brush, but that thing is up on a roof. And now I saw other pictures at the camp out you showed me. And
you can see
there,
the base.
There you go. You can see the roof on that one.
Yeah, the satellite's right behind him. We actually had to put a camera on the satellite to keep. And we had trouble up there since we put the camera up.
Yeah.
So how he had to get up there. There's pine trees that grows up behind it. These huge pines, and it gets pines. He climbs up the pines and walks around to the roof.
Oh wow!
And the guy's like, "You're not this," and I was like, "Try me. I'll, let me know." And he wanted me over there that day, and I was like, "I'll just watch it from a distance." I don't operate that way. That I just got about 2 weeks ago. That picture there 3 weeks ago. That was one morning after I got off work.
Here's a real scary one right here.
Yes, that's me. Yeah, that's what I fish for. I fish for saugeye. Yeah. Getting off work too. I just got off work and went fishing. That tells you anything.
I had to throw that one in with you, buddy.
I'll throw the line forward. Oh, I got to pull it out at all times. You never know. You see it. I got to throw a lure in for 5 minutes. Lunch break, I'll throw a lure. I was like, "Where'd you go?"
I don't know
who. Down the river and threw them.
Who's from Cryptovania TV that's laughing at us, guys?
Probably Tross.
Here we go.
Tross.
Orbs love Jay.
Yeah, he knows I'm scared of orbs, and my biggest fear. I mean, I'm scared of orbs. Or orbs. He knows that. He knows I'm scared.
Yeah,
of orbs,
you and me talked about that.
And I don't care.
They kind of freak me out a little bit too, but I still want to get close enough to see what's in it, But and then I'm like,
I'll get you close to it.
Yeah,
I'll get you close to a squad. We might even get roared at and stuff like that. That don't bother me, man.
Yeah.
This stuff here, I can't. If something would happen, how am I going to defend myself against that light?
Exactly.
That's what gets me. Exactly. That light.
Now, wait a minute.
What do you do?
Hold it. Wait a minute. You said you're going to get me up close to a squatch? I was already up too damn close to a squatch. Remember that? 15
you
feet
was.
away there.
You was. You may not want to get that close again.
I know. I don't want to get no closer. Thank you.
People out, I know me and Steve Blair one day. I took Steve Blair out, and he had experience up at Cork Creek with awesome. He had a Cork. We was at the monkey farm one morning. me and Steve Blair was watch two of these juvenile squatches wrestle. They was wrestling like, just like kids would wrestle around. And we're sitting there, and it was a gray one and a black one. You see gray, then you see black, then you see gray, then you see black, and they was just wrestling. And there was a larger one sitting off to the right of it, and it was probably about 300 yards out. But we had some really good, optics with us. You could see him great, and we was just losing it. He's like, "Where else are you going to see this stuff at?" And it was just
exactly
like kids and stuff. And they just, I do a lot of stuff alone here. I'm not worried about doing stuff alone. But the orbs, I listened to an investigator one time talk about a guy come up on Pennsylvania-Ohio border on 14 acres, and all they found was his boot in a tree. They went ATV. Farmer said they seen a UFO stuck something in there. Two farmers, two old guys, they ain't gonna make that stuff. You can't make that stuff up. And the boot was in the tree. They never did find the guy. Well, they looked for him for a week, and falling into the week there, they found him in a thicket on the path they walk in every morning to search for him. And he was naked, dead. Rigor mortis had set in. And the guy that they brought in, a private investigator from New York, and the guy that investigated this said, if you see an orb or a UFO or something like, he said, run, get away from it.
Yeah.
And he that word stuff, get that, away from it. He said, whatever it was done to him. And it just makes you wonder, what are these orbs? I don't know. Where they come from, I don't know. And like my dad always said, if you don't know what it is, leave it alone. And that really worked well for me in my life,
Well, yeah, but you know what? I'm worse than a cat with curiosity. I got to find out, and I get too damn nosy at times. And like with
you couldn't help but stay there and watch it because they was like different up there. They were like, I don't know how to explain it.
I know
Corky's got something going on up there that just it defies logic. I mean, we was up there for the show we did up there, and you know how the hill is.
Yep.
Well, I was therming so far back in there, and when I first got there, I got the two black spots walking up the hill, large, huge black spots. And I tried to get photos of them, and the photos were so-so. They weren't the best, but they still showed something was there with fur. Something had fur on it, was black, was up there. And then it dark, and man, that first orb popped up, and it was just like somebody turned a light on. It popped up like a light, just turned on like a light, like a porch light would, And I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen one do that.
Well,
I think I've always just seen
you
them.
And me
they
were there,
formed and they was already moving.
When you and me were there back Memorial Weekend, we had the Bigfoot activities there. There was no orbs though, and well,
it seems
Steve
in the wintertime he has a lot of orb activity up there.
Yeah, Steve showed up. He was the second one that showed up. And as soon as he walked up to where I was at the research area, Corky was hosing down that picnic table. And as soon as Steve walked up, there was that tree knock down over the hill from us. But when I got there, me and Corky walked up to the research area. When I first got there was a tree knock across the highway. And
I had it happen one night.
And that was nuts.
Me and Bill pulled up there one night.
Of course,
and I got a car
then what was that, about 11:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock when I saw that peanut bucket moving up on the hill, and you got the thermal.
Yeah.
And I went to take a picture of the thermal. All I got it was a white light. And I was so upset.
Yeah.
But we had those two on the thermal.
Yeah, his place up there is it's a different, and another group, they're not a group, they're a show, but Small Town Monsters is doing a show just down the road from them, maybe 10 miles down the road, and they're on private property, and they're getting a lot of activity. I sent those to Cork, and Cork, I can't say enough about him. Like I said, I met him through Sosby, and I kind of turned everybody on to him. Man, check this dude out, man. Check out what he's got. Check out what he's got going on up there. Because I remember the first time I ever seen anything live from him, he went live with an orb, and this has been 5 years ago, And I'm like, oh my, and it was the orb, it was like it was live, on YouTube, on Facebook, and he went Facebook Live with it, and it was just crazy, off the chain stuff, And when you get up there, we was up there one night, and they got the 2 juvenile Bigfoots crawling. One of them actually got up and walked a good ways, and they made a post out of it, and they put it on YouTube, and they didn't get the part where it stood up and walked. They're like, dude, that's the best part of the whole freaking video, man. Because when they're crawling, it could be anything. When it's on the ground, it could be anything. But when it gets up on 2 legs and walks around, and they didn't get somehow, I don't know if it got erased but it didn't get in the video. And I was really disappointed about that. But I'm telling you, the first time I went up there, I went down to the park on the other side of the road, and a friend of his went with me. And
I don't know if Corky's listening tonight. Usually Corky listens, but I don't know if he's out there or not. But I'm going to get him on here to talk.
Yeah, you can go. He's on Facebook, Corky's Research. He's on
YouTube and Facebook
under Corky's Research. Check it out.
People got
good, great stuff on him.
You guys got to check that out. He really does. And
issues, he can't get out. He can't get out as much as he wants to. But I mean, I'm telling you what, he's got some awesome stuff on there, and it's the real deal. It's not. I mean, I've been there. I remember the second time I went there. I get out of the car. I was with me one of the first times. I get out of the car and walk up there just to the woodline to look, and I got 2 wood knocks. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But we was up there one night, and I was down at the park. I think it was our first or second time there, and I was at the park. I gave Bill a because I was going to go by myself, and one of Corky's friends wanted to go with me. And there's no lights down there; it's completely dark. And we're halfway down there, and I think his friend was getting second thoughts about going down in there, So I was like, well, if you want to go back, go ahead and go back. I'll wait here, stand here, whatever. But I'm going down there, spend some time down there. Well, ended up going down. We got a whoop on halfway down there, just a really super loud whoop. Okay, and we get down there, and we got an orb on the night vision. And we're watching. It's a basketball-sized orb, and it's just on the other side of the creek, and we're walking through the trees. And we had something that went kaboom, and I mean, I felt it. And I'm an eighth of a mile away from Corky's house, and it was it was insane loud. So I got on the radio. I said, because I took a radio. Bill said, anything happens down there, call me. I'll be down in a second, because I was going by myself. And I was like, cool. So I called my radio. I said, dude, what the hell was that? And it was so freaking loud. And he goes, that was loud. He goes, man, you should have been standing up here. That's all he said. You should have been up here, man. He goes, my God. He goes, we don't know. They come out of the woods up here. And it was, I don't know if they hit that cistern well I've never, and I'll tell you what, you felt right through your body. It was so loud. And it was a solid boom. And, so we ended up going back up after a while. But I asked him, and I said, where don't you guys go tonight? He goes, well, do you go to the park down there? He goes, no, we don't go down there tonight. I was like, that's where I want to go. I want to go where it goes. And I had trouble when I first seen one of these things. I didn't go to the woods for like 6 months. Bill Welch got me back in the woods. I'm glad he did, because when you first see one, it does stuff to you.
It does.
And this thing was so big, man. And I was never going in the woods again. I was done. I was up for fishing one day, and they got me back in the woods that night.
Well, all I'm going to say is
it was just literally terrifying.
Corky's place is close to Beaver Creek Park there. And I got to meet Corky at my camp out. We talked before that. I was watching his stuff thanks to Jeff Weingart. God bless him, man. Jeff's a hell of a great dude. Yeah. And he keeps saying, you got to watch Corky. You got to watch Corky. And he says, there's a lot of stuff happening there. I'll get you to go there. I said, I want to go. If it's happening, I'm going.
Jeff has a different way. Jeff always, Jeff enlightens me a lot, because I'll look at something one way, and Jeff will look at something a total different way than anybody else in the Bigfoot community. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he'll have a different theory. He might just say one thing about it, and you're like, damn, I never thought of that, He has a different outlook on things. And
the man's so intelligent. He's so intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he thinks
he does some
outside the
stuff that
box.
I don't do. Yeah, he does. That's exactly right there. Yeah, he's definitely he came down, spent the weekend with us. Some members of his group, and what a weekend it was!
Yeah.
It was insane. Jack was with
Yeah.
us that night, and all hell broke
Porky
loose.
says,
And it was
yes,
like
we
2 o'clock
love
in the morning,
Jeff.
middle of nowhere.
Porky
Oh
says,
yeah,
yes, we love Jeff.
yeah. He
You
got
can't help it.
Eastern Ohio Bigfoot researchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Check them out. Check out Cryptovania TV.
Hey, they're coming to my paranormal conference. Cryptovania is coming
Awesome.
to my Penn, Ohio paranormal conference, and they're going to do a live podcast from it. Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait.
Awesome.
I've met Tommy. I haven't met Jason yet. I've talked to Jason on here a couple times, but I have not yet to meet them.
Dr. Trost.
Yeah, Jason Trost, man. And I got a lot of respect for him too.
We did a return to Cryptovania. It was the second time out there. We went out, and it was cold, so we decided to go out to this one property, and we're out there, right? And it was just a miserable, wet, cold night, And we're out there. We was out there pretty late, but anyway, my biggest thing at nighttime is lights. A lot of people don't want lights on, man. They already know you're there.
Right.
Squatch already knows you're there when you pulled up in the car.
Yeah.
And so the lights don't. The reason why I use lights is I have to go to work on Monday. I can't work with a rolled ankle, And,
that's true.
Right. I still got other responsibilities I got to do. I can't.
Well,
I got to have my legs. Well,
I use that red.
We're coming down
red tinted light. I don't like using the white light because that disturbs the other animals too. Hey, Tommy Cooper's in the house. But yeah, I like the red light because that doesn't disturb the animals so much. You there, Jay? Did you freeze up?
Right. Well, anyway, we was in this woods and we just got to the flat part of the hill. We're walking out. I rolled my ankle. Okay. And I couldn't figure out what it was on because there wasn't no holes or nothing there. So I turned the light on, right? And it's 16-inch by 8 footprint down in the ground, about 2 inches down the ground. That's what I rolled my ankle and it froze. And I look behind me, 5 yards. They're 5 feet apart, and I think there was maybe a dozen footprints maybe there, And we ended up casting one with foam at night. And Tross was like, I rolled my ankle in this thing. Be quiet. It's funny. It was crazy, but that's just kind of stuff we run into out there. I can't say enough about those guys. They're a blast to go out with. I mean, if you're out in the woods with them, it's just they take
hey,
outlook on things.
Here, you got to read this.
What's that?
Tommy Cooper, broken elbow, typing one-handed.
Oh, that's terrible, man.
What the hell did you do?
Who did he elbow? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, who'd you elbow?
He's a big fella. He's a big guy, man. When I first met him, I said, it's like, wow. Yeah, you see him on he does the Three Beers at Ray's podcast, and he walks past that refrigerator with that Cooper shirt on, man. And he's like 3 times bigger than the refrigerator. I was thinking, oh my God, that guy's huge. So I remember I met him, and then they came out here and did a day with me out here. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you got the picture or not, but I don't know if you can put the picture up now if I send it to you, but I'll tell you what, they have a picture. We got a picture of this woods we went into. We hiked it out that day, and Cooper and his nephew, they found one of the best structures I've ever seen in my life. And they called it a Scanicum star, and they're talking about these stars and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is a star? I'm looking up in the sky. And we call it an asterisk out here. And Cooper and Nick, his nephew, they found it. They was walking a little bit ahead of me, and they found this, like, oh man, look at this, And it was made out of full-size trees, like 5 full-size trees, and it was all balanced perfect, And it was just awesome. Wow. It was like and if you bumped it hard enough, it'd just fall over. I don't know if I can send it to you now or not. But yeah, I'll never forget that. We found a tree stand.
Try to send it
just
to me,
destroyed.
and I'll see if I can grab it.
Okay. Hold on here. Yeah, because this is a sight to see. I mean, it was amazing. And, they found it, And I showed them, this is where I'd taken some pictures at, some thermals and stuff. Okay, we got it right here. And we really officers in Coshocton. Another person I'd like to talk about tonight is I've been doing a lot of work with David Wolf. And he's amazing on his own right. He's a film producer, and he's working on a documentary for Bigfoot in Ohio. He's working with Kane and a fellow named McIndish down there in Hocking County, and they got some amazing stuff down there. And I will put up something for his page here. All right, I'm sending it to you now. Here, hold on here, maybe. See if you get it here.
You're like me.
All right. You got it. You should have it now.
It's a, yep.
I don't know what you got to do there. See, I'm not the technical guy here.
That's okay. Save image. JA. All right. Let me do this. Yeah, we doing everything off the cuff. Okay, here we go. There it is, Jay.
Yeah, and that's something that, and
Yep.
none of those trees have any bark on them. They've been dead for years. To find that up there, freestanding on top of that hill, and that woods, I've been researching that woods for, I know, 6 months at that time. That's where I actually learned how to see these things. I was getting back at David Wolf came down last weekend. We went to the monkey farm and checked some stuff out. He spent 2 days with us this fall, and this documentary is going to be a big deal when he gets it out there. He's working with a lot of really good people. His channel is Exposing the Strange. You can go to it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. He's got a few videos on it now, just kind of edging up to what he want to put out. But he's a blast to hang out with, and he's down to earth. We love working with him down here. We gave him a lot of our work. We gave him to do his documentary, and he's working with hang on here. Kane Michaels is one of the people working with, and
Right.
Yeah, he's doing stuff down in Hocking with those guys, and they was in the pit, the place called the Pit, and I'm telling you, some of the stuff he gets, his videos are, top notch. I watch everything he's ever done. I watched on film is just awesome. And they actually
great.
on the last one he sent me, they're in a helicopter in Hocking County in a helicopter. Who does that?
Yeah.
But like I said, he's got some big stuff. It's going to be coming out this summer, and it's going to be big. It's going to be big because everything everything he does is top. That's David
Well, make
Wolf,
sure you send me the
Strange
stuff on that.
YouTube. Richard McIndish. Yeah, Richard McIndish and Kane Michaels are the two guys he's working with down there now, and they've had some. They don't know what it is. It's got claws, 3 toes. And showed us. And I put all 100% over in county. It's like 80 miles away, and put 100% in somewhere. Kane, he moved down there. He lives down there, and he couldn't be. Richard couldn't be with nobody else better than Kane. Kane is just when I got something insane, it's incredible. I've called Kane. I don't know how many times he always comes right up. Stewart's encounters up there that he had on his property, on that property. I called Kane up because the stuff Stewart had up there was just amazing, freaking amazing stuff, man. When you walked in that woods, it was enchanted. And we walked back in there, and we actually had a sighting that day where I know Eric, that's Kane's research partner, and I knew when he whistled something was up, and I'm looking, we're in a hollow, and I'm looking on their side of the hollow because we're all on one side, but me and Kane's in the bottom, and Stewart and Eric's at the top, and he whistled, and Stewart got a face-to-face with it, seen it, then it ducked down, and it messed him up for about a week. I mean, it really messed with his head. But yeah, that's Kane's amazing. I mean, he has all my respect. He's taught me a lot of stuff. That I didn't know. I never even would even look at. You walk the woods and you don't see what's there. I mean, how much of this stuff had I walked by in my lifetime? Just walked past it and never paid attention. It's like once you wow, how did that happen? How did I get that way? How did this like you just showed that structure? How does that get that way? That didn't naturally happen.
Yeah,
the trees didn't die and just all fall there in that order.
No, that you don't know.
The structure.
You got to look at any structure out there, okay? And you got to deduct everything from it, from weather, natural, whatever. And all right, let me go back to this. Let me go back to this one. You deduct everything out of this one, okay? It is weather did not do that.
No.
An animal didn't do that.
No, and it's a well-known.
Did they actually fall down that way? No.
And if you look at it, none of them have no bark on them, so they've been dead for how many years?
Right.
When you find something laying on the ground, and it's no bark on it, it's been dead for a while.
Yeah, but the thing is, could a man done that? No, that's possible,
I suppose.
But
the area,
why?
Area it's in. Why?
Yeah, the area, like you said, the area.
That area is actually, what got me even in that area was there was a sighting there. Like when I was like 18. My brother had just seen one supposedly.
Yeah,
and I teach my brother our whole life about this Bigfoot thing. Like, dude, he was drinking, stop partying, and he didn't see no Bigfoot because they're not real, they're not around. I gave him everything about it. Well, he died in 2018 Christmas morning. He passed away, and before he passed away, he said, "Dude, you gotta go look for these things. They're real. I'm telling you." And he kind of filled me in on what to do because I was having some strange things happen. I couldn't put my finger on what it was, and he said, "They're in your woods, dude." Because it was the woods I've been going to for years, and he said, "They're in there, dude. I'm telling you, that's what they do." And I was like, "Whatever, dude." Like, I'm serious. And he, I knew then he wouldn't be around much longer. He said, "Just go see what you can do." He said, "Jay, if anybody can find him, you can. You find everything in the woods." So I went out and I started actually looking for these things. And I mean, I got to the point where I was 99% sure they were real. And I always had that 1% in the back of my head saying, "Get out of here. They're not real. What am I doing?" But
exactly.
The sighting I had at Wolf Creek, the sighting changed me, changed everything in my life, changed my whole life. The sighting I had, it just, I didn't know they got that big one. And I've been chasing them wood knocks for, at that time, about 3 years, footprints and what have you. And, but man, once I seen one, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it just changes you somehow.
It changed me.
Oh my God, they're real, Yeah,
it really changed me. I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah, I know.
I always believed since the Patterson Gimlin. I always believed.
Yeah,
but
I remember reading your account of what happened to you at Saltport. And that area.
Wow,
if it wasn't Doug Waller, none of us would be on there. Doug Waller got us into that area.
Yeah,
and I don't leave. A lot of people leave. They leave at nighttime and go somewhere else. I stay there, man, the whole time because I've had so much.
You and me
there.
did.
Me and Larry.
You and me did. Yep.
Yeah, Larry Valsky and I we had one of the best sightings that I've ever had. That I'll probably ever have. And I actually took Jack and his wife went back up with me, and I showed them the footprints and where it was at. And me and Jack followed the footprints as it was left because it rained the whole weekend. It's really muddy out, and it went into a hole in the multiple rose bushes. Just a perfect hole was there, like some cut hole, and it was. And I wanted to go through the hole and down into the woods, and we really didn't have time for that. Jack's like, "No, man, come on, let's go back, And
Right.
we had like one gun with us, And, this thing was me and Larry. Good look at it, and I'm telling you what, we was grabbing for cameras. And it would rain so hard. I think we took 2 guns, rain gear, and that was it. And we just had it because I had to hike, man. I was there all weekend, didn't hike. Wanted to go hiking. I wanted to go out and do something. I couldn't just stand sitting in a tent all weekend. Mary Fabian was there that weekend. Knox County Bigfoot was there, and I just had to go do something, And we walked in the rain for a long ways, and then we had that sighting coming back, and it was a gray one, and I did a call back in there, and then we was this where up in the camera, like his phone or something. I was like, damn, we left them all back here because it was raining. So we don't get them. And had to wait a while before we could actually come back past it. We didn't want to walk past it while it was still there. Well, it just kind of like disappeared. And the corn, when we got up there, we measured the corn. The corn was 7 foot tall, and this thing was like 2 heads taller than the corn. And I was like, oh my God, that thing had to be huge. And we were so excited to get Jack up there and show them. They have pictures of it somewhere, the footprints and stuff we found. I think the footprints were like 17, 18 inches. And but I've had so much stuff happen. I took a law enforcement officer out one night up there. And one time my wife actually went in the woods. And I'll be darned we didn't get 4 High House.
Whoa. She went in the woods? Your wife went in the woods?
Yeah, but she ain't been back in since then that night. Well,
I was going to say, because she said she doesn't do this shit.
No, I took her. We took her to one place, and we had 4 trees got broke, and it was Bob was with us tonight, the co-founder, and he'd never been through anything like that. When you're out hearing large trees get broke and thrown on the ground, it does something to you. And they thought, my wife thought we was going to die. She really panicked bad. I calmed her down. I got Bob. Bob grabbed a gun. He was ready to start blasting. I was like, calm down. You got everybody calm down. I was like, they just want us to leave. I told him for like 45 minutes. I kept saying, because everybody there had bad hearing. And I kept saying, man, there's something coming up the hill behind us. I said that like 10 times. Nobody's really paying attention to me. And when they did come up the hill, I kept hearing the peeper frogs stopping. Peeper frogs would just stop. And it got up there, it snapped a maple tree. It went off like a 22 when it snapped it. And then the other trees were pines. He would just snap them and throw them on the ground. And it was so freaking loud. And it was so close, like 40 yards from us. And everybody was started losing it. You had to be there, in them moments.
Yeah.
But she went through that. Now she won't go in the woods no more. She said, you're just asking for trouble. So she tells me all the time, don't go in there. You're just asking for trouble.
Hey, I got I'm throwing a link up into the chat. I'm going to be on another podcast tonight with Benoit from.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to be on that. I'm going to throw up the link for everyone to see here. It's in the comment section. So
Bill's page is Agents of the Unexplained. It's got some really cool stuff on it.
Yeah, I try to keep that going good. Jay,
I like your page.
Something else happened with me in the last couple of days.
What's that?
I've always been admin and a research for Mary Fabian, the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project.
Yeah. Okay,
Mary's taking a step. Yeah, Mary's taking a step back, and now I'm co-executive director, regional director. Me and Bob Walls.
Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project.
Yeah, of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. So I'm taking on a lot more responsibility. I guess hard work does pay off. It's more hard work.
Yeah, I know. When I first started researching this, I wasn't really researching. I was just trying to find something out. That's the first page I found on on Facebook was Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, and that was close to me. You know, it was Pennsylvania, and I thought, check this out. And they, you know, they had the information that was just that helped me where I'm at today. I guess, you know, that's one of the first places I went to. There's not a lot of places to go for a layman that's not into this, that has an encounter. Okay, let's say you have an encounter, your mind's not on Bigfoot, you don't believe in it, and whatever, you know, it don't really matter that. But let's just say you have an encounter with one of these things. Okay, you call the sheriff, they come out and tell you you didn't. They either tell you didn't see it or it's a bear. Okay, well, so let's say it was looking through a window 8 foot off the ground. Okay, so they got a problem right there. So then you call the game warden. The game warden laughs at you, and all your friends are humiliating you, laughing at you, calling, you know, making jokes about you and stuff. So there you are. You actually seen something. Okay, now who do you go to? Because nobody's going to help you, because there's no help out there for you, and you're just going to have to deal with what you saw, and while everybody else is making fun of you. So, you know, I wasn't really in that situation where I knew something was going on in my woods. I knew there was something in there, and I was pretty sure that it was one of these creatures. And I went to her page on just some info, just getting info. You know, and she had a lot of information, you know, and a lot of information from a lot of different places. And it helped me. I was reading everything I get my hands on, watching everything, listening to everything, because I want to get down to the bottom of it. I thought, well, I'm going to solve this, you know. And here I am, almost 11 years later, and it's the hole just got deeper. It just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. You never find an answer. And are they real? Hell yeah, they're real. They're as real as I am sitting here. Believe it's fine. I don't care what you believe. You know, I know people had encounters that didn't believe them. You know, believe them now.
A couple of people got on my case, my friends. And I says, have I ever lied to you before? No.
Right.
Now, why would I lie about this? Why would I?
Yeah.
You know, this thing has affected me.
They think you're foolish anyway. Why would you do it?
This thing has affected me so bad at the time. And a real good friend of mine, we've been friends for 45 years at least. You know, at least. It's getting close to 50. Me and Rob's been friends. And when I said it scared me, it's so bad, he could not believe it. He has never seen me afraid of anything in my whole life. But at 15 feet away, 7 foot tall, big, muscular, hairy looking.
They're no joke.
They ain't no joke. And
right.
You know, and it took me a few weeks to get my head out of my ass, and everyone's hearing me say it every time. I finally had to say, okay, I'm not superhuman. I'm just human. That's why it scared me. Because I couldn't deal with getting scared.
You know, they're real. The big is the size of them, and you know, you know now you know they're real. You know the size of them, and everything in you is saying, man, don't go back in the woods, dude. Everything in you, don't go back in there. You know, what are you doing? Why are you going back in there? You know, and for me, it was, man, I was chasing these things. You know, I was chasing them down. You know, I had to find one, and I had seen some stuff that I thought. Yes,
I went up to a thing with a bunch of other Bigfooters from all over the countryside, and several of them was going on a hike after we sat there around the big campfire. And this was like a few weeks after my encounter. And I'm still, you know, a little upset with it. And I couldn't go hiking with them.
Right. You're not,
I couldn't do it yet. PTSD. It got to me. I could not do it. I stayed right there at the fire.
That's in, dude.
Yeah. And
fear. You know, the fear of the unknown. If you don't know something, I mean, that's how humans are. If we don't know something, what do? We blast it with a gun. You know, it's unknown. You know, you don't know nothing about it. Fear.
Yep.
And you got to overcome that fear. And once you overcome that fear, it took me a long time to do it. But, you know, I have no fear of them now. I mean, if they're going to get you, they're going to get you. What are you going to do about it? Because how are you going to stop them? Bigger, faster, stronger. There's no stopping them. And so if they want you, they're going to get you anyway. There's nothing you can do about it. Just go out and enjoy your time. You know, don't take yourself too serious and enjoy your time in the woods. I mean, I know they're there. I know where they're at. You know.
You know what? I'm not afraid of them now, per se. I don't want to be that close ever again.
Well, I know you had people with you that night, though, didn't you?
Two, Mike Bennett and Debbie Freggy. I only had those two, and they were back because Debbie was afraid to go forward. So I went forward and started looking down the trail, and I knelt down, looking down, and there it was on the side.
Buckeye Trail.
Yeah, yep, Buckeye Trail. And
yeah, that Buckeye Trail, something else back through there. I couldn't believe it was that long. We hiked it one night, and we hiked for like 2 hours, man, and it was still going. And I thought eventually we'll come to the road. No, you don't go to no road. It just goes cross country. It was like getting dark, Nobody had a flashlight. I'm like, maybe we better turn around, because I thought for sure we we're going to come to the road.
I heard that trail goes clean across Ohio.
It don't go nowhere near that road. I'm like, wow.
I hear it goes clean across Ohio.
Yeah. We was 2 hours away from the vehicles, and then me, Jack, and Larry. I'll never forget that night. And we found huge X's where there'd be an X here and an X here, on the other side of the trail.
Yeah.
Footprints. I mean, that area just right there. You got that creek at the bottom of the hill right there, and I've had so many encounters in that. We go up there sometimes when there's nobody even there, nobody even camping there. We just go up there and sit. And you wouldn't.
You talk about Prince. You talk about Prince. This couple came to the camp out. They brought their son-in-law because he likes camping. He did not believe in Bigfoot. He found a handprint of a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. He found the knuckle.
Did I send you some prints?
It. Huh?
Did I send you any pictures of those prints I found? I don't know if you got the pictures of those to put up or not. But yeah, the prints. I don't do a lot of footprints because I figured I don't do a lot with prints, but I figured they've cast 15 million of them, and nobody believes anything anyway about the prints. But I'll still take pictures of them. If I see some cool prints, I'm still looking for the one to cast. I want to cast. I mean, there's a couple casts I'd like to get for a few people. I'd like to get Larry one, and there you go. Where was that one taken? Let's see it.
Yeah.
But I want to get Larry one for sure. But me and Larry come across some prints that, I mean, the biggest print I ever seen in Coshocton County, I think Jack was the second time he ever went out with me. We found a 22-inch footprint, and I can send that to you if you want to see it. And that was at the Hell's Gate.
Send that to me.
And
when he mentions Jack to a lot of the people out there, that's Jack Warren.
Jack Warren.
Yeah.
And Larry
Hell of a good guy, too.
They're two. I mean, they've been with me. Jack and Larry's been with me. I remember the first time we ever did anything together. It was 10 degrees, 6 inches of snow, and I think we did 11 miles all together that day. Man. And and that's just what we done.
Yeah.
I'll send you. Let's see here. That's a 3-toed print we found. Let's see here. Where's it at? We found so much. We have Woodbury up here, and it's Woodbury's just a whole different animal. It's so large. I mean, you can walk for
That's what Mike Hartman says. Yes,
it is amazing, and it's loaded. It's loaded with them.
I don't know if you know Mike Hartman or not, but he tells me about it all the time.
Jake Lice, his property butts right up against the poor guy. And here's that footprint. Here's that footprint. Let's see here. This is a 22-inch print. You should be getting it right now. Yeah, you should be getting that. And I'll send you a collage of a bunch of other ones we found. Here's in this one section of Woodbury, and you've seen it there 20 years ago, and got all muddy, and this is the footprint I found up there at Woodbury. Second one's the Woodbury print. They're both on Woodbury, actually. Both prints are, but I mean, one was at Hell's Gate. We had an 11-inch footprint along with a 22-inch footprint. They was coming down the hill to the pond, and they turned around and went back up. But there it is. 11 and 22.
There's that 22-inch one there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my. And it's an old tire track and an old 2-track going up the hill. And the next one's a 3-toed. And I'll send you like a collage. What we got here. I know we're getting ready to do Johnny Freeman, Jack, me, I think Tommy Cooper and Jason Trost. We're getting ready to do Beaver Creek in July. We're going to do a deal down there and speak. It should be a good time. If any of the viewers want to check that out. Jack Warren took over the operation of that for this year.
Yes.
And he's got some
he did.
headliners coming in, really good speakers. You know, I just can't wait to I want to go. You know, I want to be there speaking, but I want to hear the other people speak. There's some really good people showing up. This photograph here is just a bunch of footprints I found, and you can tell they're got splayed toes. If you got splayed toes, that's kind of not ever wearing shoes. I don't know what you've seen on those on the splayed, you know. Yeah, you should have.
I got the 3-toed one up now.
You know. Okay, yeah, ain't that something? 3 toes.
Yeah.
These are just some of the footprints I found down here. Then me and Chris Meddings, he's a researcher with us, and Chris he got into this stuff really quick. He got a fast. First time he went out, he got a big rock thrown at him, and then we got roared at. And that's his first trip out Bigfoot, you know, and he was hooked. And we had a place where we had to have footprints for this whole deal. We was looking at I don't know, like a travel pattern. Well, if they was using this travel pattern, you know, we had to have footprints at this area. And we went down there, and Chris he found there was all kinds of footprints. Now this here's something really interesting that just proves the part about the you know, you have the people, some people call it wood talk, some people call it structures. This structure, I want to see these structures and see what you think of these. Let's see what we got here. I found one. It was 30 miles apart in this county, and I've never really seen. I've seen similar things, but never tied down like this. Let me find it here. This is interesting here. Okay, right here. Here's one of them. I'm sending you this structure here. Check this out. And it's tied down with what's holding it in place has been dead for Lord knows how many years. And it's in place. And that's a locust tree, the first one there. That's a locust tree. Now, for you to bend a locust tree, good luck with that.
Yeah, really.
You know, I've seen locust trees that were snapped off. What the hell can snap a locust tree? What? I mean, there's nothing I know of. It's going to snap a locust tree. Now, that one there, now 30 miles away, mind you, I find this one. Other side of the county. Same thing, different place. Check this one out. You can put these up, I don't know if you put up together or you see the similarity?
I'm bringing it up now. Okay. See, somebody will say that tree fell and bend it, but how did it fall that close? Well, wait a minute.
There's actually several trees holding it together in place to hold it together.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going to go with that, Jay. That's what I was going to go with. And someone says, "Oh, that tree fell." No, it couldn't have. Not the way it is.
Okay. It's a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
And no bark on them. They've been dead for 10 years. All right. They've been dead for how many years? You know, and it's a bunch of dead trees holding that tree bent over down. If that tree come up farther, it'd rip your head off. It'd tear your head off.
Yep. And
you know, when the first one I found.
Let me
bring the first one I found, I was like, I kind of kept my distance away because I thought, man, let's go. And I went back to show Larry that. Me and Larry hiked back in there one day, and I was like, I got to show you this tree. You ain't gonna believe it. It was gone. The tree and everything was gone. The whole tree is gone. No root ball, no nothing. It's just gone. And then we get a wood knock. We was following, I think.
Okay, here's that one.
Yeah, that's a locust tree.
Yes.
And it's got
Now,
3 or 4 dead trees locking it in place.
yep. Then
Yeah,
here's this
and
one
yeah,
that me and it
yeah,
was
30
talking
miles
about.
apart.
Yeah. And there's
And
no
they're
way in
they're
hell
held down
those
by dead
trees
trees.
fell on that like that.
Right. And
Ain't
look at it. There's
happening.
how many trees there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
trees holding that in place. They're locked in place with that tie downs.
I bring
They're tied down with them dead trees.
1, 2,
Now if that lets
one,
go, that's
two,
going to hurt.
3, 4.
Me
4
and you,
trees
and
tied
you
tied together. You got a big tree laid down that it's over. So there
No,
ain't
it's not
no
even on
way
the
in
big
hell
tree.
those 3 little
Yeah,
things bent
well,
that over.
The big tree, I should have got a closer picture, but the big tree has nothing together holding it down. It's them trees around the tree.
You can
locked
see
in
it's
place.
over it. So
Okay, we go back to that area, hike back there, and the whole tree's gone. The whole tree, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I mean that's just some of the stuff around here, and like I said,
we got stuff like that around
when
here,
Cooper and them guys
and
came
we're
across-
2.5 hours away from each other. So you know,
yeah, when Cooper and them came up here, I had showed him the one area. You know, we had a sighting back in that area back in the 80s, early 80s. There was a sighting made the newspaper, and they're still there. They're still in the same spot where the sighting was. I mean, I could take you there and show you where the sighting was, and they're still there. They haven't left. And you know, it's just like, why wasn't nobody ever back up here looking? My friend moved up there and was sitting out park in his driveway every day. I sit there every day for 6 months, every day after work. I was up there for 3 hours. I was up there on the weekends, and finally, my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? What are you doing? Where are you going every day? Where are you going? What are you doing?" And I said, I'm going up there sitting in the driveway watching the hill because I want to see one, you know, and I want to know. They wasn't what I thought they were going to be. They wasn't what I was looking in my mind. I was looking for this, but that wasn't what they were. They were this. And once I seen one, the first thing I ever seen up there was I seen one stand up, move over about 5 feet, and lay back down in the brush. That's all I seen. But I seen it, and then I knew what I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, she didn't believe me. She thought I was stepping out on her or something, right? And I said, well, just drive up there sometime. I'm always there. I'm there between when I get off work till noon every day, you know. Well, she finally drives up there. She said, you are here. What are you doing? You know, what are you doing up here? And I was like, I'm watching that hill right there. They're on that. You know, I was 120% committed to watching that hill till I seen one because I knew they were on that hill. That sighting was right there 20 years ago. And I had seen him at that buddy that rented that house. I'd seen him on his deck. I seen 4 of them walk through the woods. I seen 4 sets of red eyes shining right at me. I knew they were there. So I took her back up and we got a thermal picture that night. And it was an awesome thermal photo. And we'd watched him till I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, right? Maybe 2:30 in the morning. I've been watching them on the thermal up the hill across the road in the woods. And they were moving back and forth and everything. I'm watching them. I can't tell my wife that they're there. You know, I didn't want to tell her and get her scared and stuff. So, but I'm not leaving without a picture. I got to get this picture on the thermal. And finally, 2:35, here they come down the hill. They're coming, right? And I'm like, wow. And all I got, and it got down to 17 degrees that night. So I got the thermal, and I'm aiming the thermal. I'm going to get the picture, and I got my gun out. You know, I'm holding my gun, and I'm freezing. All I got on was a hoodie, and it's so cold out that night. And I finally got 2 pictures. I got the picture of the big one that came down the hill up on me, and he moves over. He's heading to the creek, and it looked like a female carrying a baby come down behind him. And I got a picture of that. And they registered it at 63 degrees, and it was 17 degrees outside. I had to register on I got a cross on my thermal that'll give you the temperature, whatever you're pointing at. I mean, from a distance, it's off a little bit because it's at a distance, but it's still close to, you know, for 17 degrees outside. These were 63, 68, you know,
and they had all that hair on them. And they had all that hair on them.
Yeah.
Keeping them warm too on the inside.
And I found other things out, like if they come out of a river at night, or they come out of it was really cold out and we had snow and ice on us, and the ones we pulled up to 4 of them, and they were on the other side of some flooded water, and Larry Felsky, Bill Welch, and Stacy, a guy named Stacy, was with us, and they were right there. You could watch them, you could see them plain as day, and they wasn't picking up real good on the thermal, but they, you know, I never thought they just came out of the water. They were soaking wet. It was an ice storm. It was snowing, you know. they're not going to show up real good on thermal. You know, and other times I've had them show up on thermal like you wouldn't believe. But, you know, you fly a river cold, you know, you're going to be the same temperature as everything around you. And
hey, Steve Blair just joined us.
Oh, did he? Hey, Steve, what's up, dog? I can't say enough about Steve, man. Steve's my guy, man.
No, you said it all earlier when he wasn't here. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, man. He's family down there. He knows.
Yes, Steve's a good dude. Yes, he is.
We love having Steve around. Yeah, he is. He's good people, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to find good people nowadays, but I tell you what, he's one of the true good people in my life.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But we, you know, our groups, like I said, the Cooper and them guys, Corky, you guys, you know, we all, and Jeff, you know, I share everything I got with you guys.
Yes.
So you know what's out there, you know what I mean? And like I said, I share.
You ain't lying about sharing, because you called me right away about those orbs. You and Corky both did.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, and
that was insane. Yeah, how do you get?
Yeah,
you think it's a light? It would have heat.
Yeah,
no, it's a huge cold spot around.
And when you were telling me that, I was freaking out. Like, what? It was cold. Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, I sit there. I sit there like an hour and a half after Corky went in the house, and just kept seeing them. They kept popping up, and I kept therming them, and I was getting the same thing over and over again, the same exact thing. I've never thermed one though, but I just happened to have my thermal in my hand when I seen the first one. I thought, you know, let's see what kind of a, you know, thermal picture I get off of it. Mm-hmm. It was cold. It was colder than 28 degrees.
Yeah,
it was a massive
that's just
cold
nuts.
spot. It was clear to the ground, from the ground to where it was at, and all the way around it. Just a massive cold spot. I was running black that night for my heat, and I changed it up on this one. I changed it to white. White's hot. Everything around that thing was black. I mean, jet black.
That's just crazy.
So that's just telling you that it's colder. It was the coldest thing in the woods. And it was, like I said, it got down to 28 degrees that night. It was cold.
But the thing is,
wet, rainy, miserable day.
Yeah, but the thing is, like you said, it's a light. Light puts off heat. Even these little
you'd think it was hot.
LED ones put a little bit of heat on.
I hit it. I thought for sure.
Yeah,
I was 100% sure that I was going to get a heat signature off those, and it was cold. It was ice cold. I was like, "What? What's cold?"
I thought so too.
You know,
when you told me it was cold, it's like, "Whoa, you're blowing my mind." And now I got to get a thermal just for that reason.
Yeah, I tell you what, I use my therm. We call it the D-Liar, because there's certain things I've hit on night vision, and I hit it with my therm, and if you didn't get a heat signature, it's not there. I don't care what, you know. I mean, even with the really cold, wet entities we've run into that's coming out of the river with ice and stone, you still get a pretty good hit, but it's duller than you get if it was dry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you get nothing, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know, that therm, like we was in the woods one night and we wasn't getting a whole lot, but I got something beside a tree, and it could have been part of the tree rotting, but it was right beside the tree. And me and Bill was talking. I said, I got something over by the tree. He goes, yeah, but it's not moving. I said, oh my God, it is now. They took off running, and all you heard was stuff snapping. And it was insane. And we hiked like 4 miles back in the strip mines that night, and it just took off running, and you just heard stuff breaking like crazy. And he hit up on his therm too. I mean, we run 2 therms. We've run, and with Chris is a night vision maniac, dude. He's awesome on night vision. He can run it better than I think anybody I've ever been out with. He can run night vision, and he's got some of the most incredible photos from night vision that I've ever. I just can't believe some of the stuff.
I got to meet this Chris. I got to meet him. I got to meet him.
Straight go. Yeah, he just hard. I mean, everybody in our group, like I said, I got to handpick my people that I wanted to integrate, wanted to research with. You know,
right?
I was like, go pick your crew now. And I got to pick everybody. You know, I picked. We got a class act going on because I mean, I picked the best people I could find, and I picked Larry. I got Jack. You know, I got Jake, Chris. A couple of our newer guys we just brought into the group. And I mean, they're just, they're like brothers. We're like a band of brothers, man. We take care of each other.
Yep.
If somebody's down, hey, we're there for you. We'll help you out. We all been through tough times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But anyhow, it's almost going to 8:30. It's 20 after 8.
And Bill Welsh, me and Bill ain't been out for a while job wise, because everybody in the group works and we're always times of the essence. But when we do get out, man, I remember me and Bill would get out, man, we would go 16 hours was nothing for us. And you'd find us, we'd be asleep in the van somewhere on the side of the road, wake up, it's like 2 o'clock, wow, how long we've been sleeping. But we've been out all night and all day the day before. He got one day off a month and we just made the most of it. And we've had some incredible encounters. One of the best encounters I ever had up in Stillwell, Ohio, on a wet, cold, rainy night. I didn't even want to go that night. I was sick. And we ran into a mess on the hill, man. We had 11 of them on the hill, 3 of them throwing rocks at us. Got 9 big rocks thrown at us, and one of them just come right up to us. And we had 2 little kids. Their grandparents owned the property, and they wanted to go, and I couldn't tell them no. They're not my kids, and it's not my property. I didn't want them to go, but they went anyway, and they're with us, and they'll tell you about what happened up there at night. And it one literally walked within 20 feet of us and just stood there, and it was a big, tall, very thin Squatch standing in front of us. And Bill puts the light on it. He's got a light on his gun. He puts a light on it, and he's looking through it because he once he stepped back and realized what was in front of us, that's all we had to see. I was back another 10 feet back. I was on the other side of the trail that went up the hill, and we was almost at the top of this hill, and there it was. I could see it plain as day, but when he stepped back, because it was, there's no light up there. When he turned right on, he stepped back, he seen it. It was right there. I said, "There's your Bigfoot, boys," to them kids,
Yeah.
Next thing Bill said, "Are we in a kill box?" And I pulled out like a 40 Smith & Wesson. I said, "Ain't none getting killed up here tonight." And everything stopped. Everything. We had nothing. So once I racked that gun, everything stopped. No more rocks got thrown. And we was getting big rocks. I mean, huge rocks thrown at us. And I remember one of them hit a tree and just drenched me. Water all, I couldn't even see my glasses, I had water all over. I had something. I was soaked from that, and it was raining, then it was snowing. It was raining, then it was snowing, and that was just an incredible encounter. We was getting whoops and everything, and vocals, and I remember panning the top of the hill with the therm, and there was like 8 of them standing up the top of the hill, and that's where we're going. We just went to the top of the hill. I don't know why we did that. That's just what we do. When you're with Bill, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different. It's just different. It's just like he has his way of doing things, and I have my way of doing things, and they mesh, and we go forward. Me and Bill did the stuff out.
That's why you do it.
And that really worked. Yeah,
that's the way you do it.
Research out there.
But anyhow,
yeah,
Jay,
I mean,
we gotta have to cut this down now because
alrighty,
because I gotta get ready for that other podcast too, and but I'm gonna get you to come back on here beginning of next year. We'll cover up
no problem.
Get some more going. Get Corky out here. Get him on here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
Next week, I'm going to have Sean Forker on.
Needs to be on.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one next week.
Awesome, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've had some good
more
people.
Activity out.
Good. You've had some really good people on.
Here we go. Had more activity one afternoon being out with Jay than I ever had. Between him and Corky's place, man, they are where it's at. I got to roll. The wife just come out of the store, and I got to drive. You guys have a great night and blessed Christmas. Take care, Steve. You have a great one.
Yeah, Steve. Take care, brother.
All right. But anyhow, hey, thank you again, Jay. It's been awesome. Like I said, after the first year, we'll plan something. So you're back on here.
Yeah, I got some stuff going on here.
Yep. And I got a bunch of stuff going on.
I got something special for everybody up here. We're going to try to make it a nighttime deal and get a hotel room for everybody to hang out at. But it's
All
going to be a
right.
good one. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one up here.
All right.
2 different groups, 2 different same location, 2 different ways in, and we'll see what we can get. And we're going to try to go Facebook Live with it.
Yeah.
So the people at home can enjoy what we're enjoying. But all right, I'm gonna let you get to your other show now, and I'll tune in for that next show coming up, man. I appreciate you having me on, and appreciate you all together, Bill. You really made
thank you.
Really come my way, brother.
Hey, it's been an honor, believe me, big time honor for me. And yeah, Tommy, your typing sucks one-handed. I know. I'm 2 fingers. But just hope that heals up quick. But anyhow, Jay, thank you again, and we will talk to you soon.
Your next show.
All right, people, thank you. Hey, I want you to remember, we got the Penn Ohio show coming up, the Paranormal Conference at the Hickory VFW in Hernage, Pennsylvania, March 25th. Got a great lineup of speakers. We got tickets, pre-sale tickets going on. We even got a bundle. I put the links at the top of the comments. You can scroll back on the comments. So if you care to get in on that, but just remember, we got a great lineup of speakers. We got Mike Falmouth, Dan Hagman, Jenny and Jamie King, Brian and Terry Seach, Ed Kelman, James Krug. We even got Mike Hartman as our MC. Oh, it's going to be a treat. But anyhow, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you later.